The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
You have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
All right. It's 3:19. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
I took a hit before the intro. There we go.
I was trying to get one in before, but I'm struggling with my little dab tab thing here.
Still on the dab tabs?
I've got some little, it's lasted a while. I'll give it that.
Yeah. It's like the third show we're talking about them.
I got those two vials equivalent to a gram, I guess, of concentrate on these little guys. But the pen, the Dab Tab Go thing, you drop it in there, and there's not much room to maneuver it in there, and it never drops quite right. The idea is that you bake one side of this thing, and then you flip it over and bake the other side. So when I take it out and then try and get it, okay, here's the side that I already cooked. Now I'm going to drop it in so that it goes, raw side down onto that plate, and it always flips sideways at the last second.
So you're critiquing the dab tabs as you need something that could place that thing in there perfect every time.
That's what I was thinking ideally. I mean, this would be a much more expensive unit, but the dab tab would work great if it was going into something that, where the whole element heated and it dropped right into it, where there was just enough place so that it's not going to stick in there, and enough so you could probably get a dab tool in there and pry it out if you needed to, but that would heat it more uniformly. Because also you end up with a lot of these that you can see all the concentrate around the edges of it that you just can't heat properly with the device. And I did get that UCAN thing, whatever it is. And I thought it came with a ceramic coil, but they were both quartz, which are the rods with the wire wrapped around it. Mm-hmm. So there's not actually enough surface contact with the tablet to heat it up properly. I can get one or two good hits off of it, but then I got to throw it into the other device to finish it off.
That all just sounds...
It's too much trouble.
Yeah,
right?
like a lot to go through.
Well, yeah, but, desperate times. What are we going to do? I'll get to the... when we get to the news, I'll share some more with you what my options are locally.
Ooh.
And how I end up with things like dab tabs. No, they're not. It's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's just not ideal. Hey, happy Prime Day.
Wasn't this I thought it was in July. Did COVID move it this year?
It got pushed back because of COVID.
Oh, no shit. It's like everything else. It got moved 3 months.
Imagine, though, having a company that's so immensely huge, but you're trying to argue that it's not a monopoly in any way. But then when you set a sale, it becomes a holiday.
Right.
Like everyone else has a sale. Best Buy, Target, everyone's got sales to compete with Prime Day.
Yeah, and isn't it 2 days this year?
Yeah, it's 2 days. I think it's been 2 days for a while. I don't know, though. I haven't really followed it. This is the first time I've been a Prime member on Prime Day. And I imagine that's true for a lot of people. I imagine this is going to be the biggest. It's going to be a record-breaking day for Amazon.
Yeah, especially this year.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't we talk about Bezos already wiped out his divorce settlement on one day where he made, what was it, like $13 billion? It was like one Monday.
Look, he's already got his robot arms. He needs to get his robot legs. So that's what this Prime Day pushes for. He needs to get he's thinking about getting robot legs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get the robot body in play so he can never die.
Yeah. Did you see the footage of him with he was demonstrating these robot arms. So you put this kind of glove thing that straps in and there's cables running down and everything because this is a prototype. And it controls this larger set of robotic arms. So everything that Bezos is doing with his arms and his hands is being mimicked by these huge robot arms.
Google Bezos robot arms. See what it comes up with.
Yeah, you'll see.
Oh, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos operates robot hands.
There's video of it. So you can see it's some fucking Lex Luthor shit, man.
And it doesn't help that he has the Lex Luthor haircut either.
Yeah.
And he's doing research. Like, all right, these will work for my arms.
He's going, yes, these will do nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you take advantage of any of the Prime Day deals?
No.
Yeah. It's mostly stuff that nobody needs.
Yeah, it's them trying to get a bunch of bullshit out of their warehouse once a year.
Yeah. I guess if I was shopping I am shopping for a computer, but I'm not for the stuff that they throw on sale. And if I needed a tablet, there's some good deals on that. Some good deals on TVs, but
he's picking up stuff. I'm watching a video.
I buy a TV when my TV breaks, and I need to buy a TV. Like, I'm not going to go, oh, that's a really good deal on a TV. I don't even need one, but now I'm going to just buy another one and put it in another room or put the old one in the basement.
You don't buy a deal just because you see a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Hey, this TV's only $200. Great, I got like 2 TVs.
But there were 3 things that I took advantage of for the Prime Day sale. And that's they do a streaming sale as well. So all the add-on services, not all of them, I shouldn't say, but most of the add-on services that you can get with Amazon Prime Video, you can get a 99-cent subscription to that will be good for 2 months. So it'll renew again in a month for another 99 cents. So for $2, I can watch whatever I want on Epix. Something that I was like, there's no way Epix is getting $9 a month from me. When compared to Netflix and HBO and all the other stuff. It's never going to make the cut. But for a couple bucks, I can binge watch some shows that I'm interested in. Why not?
For $2.
There were 3 that I grabbed. It was Epix, Showtime, and Stars. So Showtime I let lapse because the only thing I was still watching on it was Billions, and who knows when that's coming back.
It's like everything else. All the stuff I like is like, maybe next year.
And Ray Donovan is, I think that's done completely. If that last season wasn't the end of the show, then I don't know what they're going to do with the next season. I've enjoyed all of them, but they've definitely run their course. I guess I think The Affair might still be going. Did you watch any of that on Showtime?
My wife did. I think that's over. I think it was the last season.
That show went way off course. That show, I really enjoyed the first season, and then it ends resolving absolutely nothing. You're like, wait. So how long? So they're going to do a multiple season dragging out this one affair? Oh no. They're going to do a murder mystery. and then they're going to jump into the future.
What I know too is Mara Terry's character. I was like, you know why this chick's single? Because she's a fucking bummer to hang a beat. I said every episode I watched it peripherally with her. I never got in. I said, but everything that I've seen, like this chick is just a giant bummer.
Oh, let me guess. Maura Tierney's getting a bottle of wine or two.
Yeah. Oh, look. Guess what? She's sad about something.
And when she finds it, she does have that moment where she's like, fuck him, I'm going to get mine. And she goes and gets some dick, and then she feels bad about it and hates herself for the rest of the season.
Yeah. There's a reason she is single.
It's a depressing ass show.
Yeah.
There's some good performances, I really like the Noah and Allison. I can't remember the actor who plays Allison. Noah is, oh God, his name's somewhere in my head. He's McNulty from The Wire. And that's a guy who's, he doesn't have a lot of range, but he's got charisma and head for days. He's got like a big old head that just looks great on a screen.
Yeah, he's not turning down work.
He's got that Ray Donovan head.
That guy's not turning down any work.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine.
I should say he's not. Yeah.
He ain't turning down anything.
Well,
no, he probably has to turn down some stuff.
No, I guess what I'm saying is he's not hurting for work.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's nothing that per se that Showtime's doing right now that really grabs me, but I'm sure I'll find some stuff that makes it worth my $2. Epix has some shows that I have been really interested in watching, but it's only like a couple shows. So again, I'm not going to drop $9 a month for that.
Yeah, you spent $1 a show.
But I get to watch, I started watching War of the Worlds on Epix, starring Gabriel Byrne.
Is that from now? Or is this like when they tried to do it?
No, it was made this year.
Oh, okay.
Or at least released this year. And it's a very grounded take and right up my alley. At the end of episode 2, we haven't even seen the aliens yet, although the attack is full on. The attack happens at the end of episode 1, so it's not like it's like a total slow boil. It's just a slow reveal, like a good old fashioned monster movie. It reminds me a little bit of Signs in that way. I mean, again, I've only seen a couple episodes. Maybe they're going to do a big reveal and then it's just going to be wall-to-wall aliens. But I don't get that feeling. Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan movie where, you never got a really good glimpse of the alien until the very end.
Well, is this going to be a limited series?
No, that's a good question.
Because you can probably go so... I mean, if you're going with the original story, right? You can only go so far with that premise.
I think it's really loose. I mean, it's an alien invasion, but it has much more the feel of The Walking Dead, where the Walking Dead, the zombies are there to serve as a device to stir things up, a catalyst for story. But the real story is, mankind's inhumanity to each other, what causes us to turn against each other, what happens when society falls apart, and how do we rebuild. It seems much more that they're setting up one of those stories. And they also have Pennyworth, which is the story of a young Alfred Pennyworth. I've seen some of that. I think they have 2 seasons out now of it. It's
isn't he a badass? Isn't that kind of what they were going with?
He's a total badass.
Like he's James Bondish.
Well, I don't know that. I don't think that they've made much allusions to this in like the movie or TV versions that we've seen of Alfred. But in the comics, there's definitely a past that Alfred has. He used to be in whatever the British version of the CIA is. He was like an MI5 agent or something like that. And, so he's a secret agent. He was totally trained in everything. He's got experience as a medic. It definitely helps explain how he manages to take care of and patch up and assist somebody like Bruce Wayne as Batman.
So he's a certain set of skills.
Yeah. And I may just watch Perpetual Grace Limited again, because that show is brilliant. That's another show that Epix has, and something that, so I think it was on Stars. They did, that was an Amazon show. Patriot. So the same creator who did Patriot and a lot of the same cast are doing Perpetual Grace Limited. And Perpetual Grace Limited, it's kind of, I guess it's a crime drama. Right? There's a
guess?
Well, in the same way that, like, Patriot was about a man who worked for the CIA who he made his son do off-book missions of, like, killing people, retrieving information, high-risk stuff that if he got caught, the government would disavow. But it's not
nice dad.
It's not a James Bond show. Like, it's so much more. The lead is dealing with crippling depression. He's a singer-songwriter as well, and he puts a lot of his experiences coded in the lyrics of his songs. It's really a family drama, and that's what Perpetual Grace is too. It's a family drama hidden in a crime drama. But you get what's his name? Ben Kingsley plays a preacher who's totally corrupt and is grifted people out of their money his whole life, and he has a long lost son, and there's some money that, like, the long lost son wants to get it. He's been excommunicated, and he wants to get his hands on the money that his dad has, so he's going to arrange a kidnapping, and everything goes wrong from there. So it's like
Fargo-esque.
I was just going to say it's a Fargo style crime drama.
All right.
And it's also, like, most shows are very quirky characters. Everything's really stylized. There's not a lot. It's one of, like, nobody really talks like a real person, but it still works.
Gotcha.
I don't know how to describe it.
What is it? Younger people writing the dialogue?
It's a little, I don't know. It's a little more abstract. Maybe it is a younger person's thing.
Trust me, there's a lot of TV I watch lately where I'm like, man, I'm getting old. I can tell somebody younger than me wrote this.
Yeah.
And you know what happens a lot now is with John Oliver. I could tell his writing staff is a lot younger than he is.
Right. Well, I think you still have time to take advantage of the deal. For $1, you could watch the first season of P-Valley on Starz.
Of what?
P-Valley is it's short for Pussy Valley. The nickname of a place, I don't know if this is based on a real place. In the Mississippi Delta, there's a stretch of road that has strip clubs on it. And P-Valley follows one of those.
Man,
it's
so much
a
TV.
full-on cable TV, R-rated strip club drama with all the fun and ridiculousness that you could expect from it.
And it would have been on Cinemax after midnight on Friday.
It would have been on Cinemax and unwatchable past the first 15 minutes after you busted. But this is actually like a decent drama that seems entertaining. I've only watched the first episode. They set up kind of a mystery with the lead character. She's running from some trouble. But it's a pretty straightforward drama from what I can make out so far. But very entertaining. And boobs. Good boobs.
Good old boobs. Are we still allowed to like boobs in 2020?
Apparently.
Well, hey, they're in the show, right? It's empowering.
So, have you watched anything interesting lately?
I'm sitting there actually trying to think, like, have I watched? No.
Just reruns?
It's been a lot of Dateline in the office around here. I'm trying to think if there's anything we tried to watch where we're like, hey, this is cool. No, nothing lately.
Have you been sticking with the Nexium doc, The Vow?
Yes and no. I think the last one we saw. Fuck. Oh, what was?
I think they just had the 8th episode, and I was so certain that was going to be the last episode.
Like the last one that I saw was the one where the women all had the ambush, so to speak, of Vanguard when they all found out that they were sleeping with him and they all tried to confront him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they are dragging their feet with that. And people seem to be eating it up. So I guess I can understand why they do it. But from a storytelling aspect, the show is...
Could have been a 6-episode...
lose its sheen.
Yeah.
It should have been a 3-episode, honestly. But I guess there's... actually, I think it's on Amazon. Can't remember where it was, but there's a whole nother documentary that just follows one... there's a documentary series that just follows one woman's experience. Rather than try and give, like, Vows doing the whole thing and everybody involved.
Yeah.
And trying to put the whole thing together. And I think their message kind of gets saturated by doing that. Rather than just focusing on one person and their experience. Because, I don't know, if you just do it as from the perspective of one character, not one person, not a character, I think you have a better chance for your audience to connect. With this, I'm not connecting to anyone in The Vow. I understand what they did, but that I still feel like these are all idiots. These people are all fucking stupid. Yeah. Some of them are smart as hell at certain things, but it ain't people and it ain't themselves, because I don't know how you don't see this shit coming. How none of this shit creeps you out up until the brand.
We were dumb. Here's our story. Yeah, I mean, there were so many opportunities. To me, there were so many scarlet, red, glowing flags.
Yeah.
That all these people just were like, whatever. I mean, as soon as I had to tell someone that I was going to bed, for me, I was like, wait, I'm a grown ass person. Why am I I don't do this anymore. You gonna come tuck me in?
Yeah, there's a moment in the last episode where there's the one woman whose daughter is still in the cult, and she's fighting with the members that have left. And she's kind of laughing about her daughter telling her that she was sleeping on the floor because that's what her master told her to do. That was one of many, subtle mind-washing things that they'd use to control you. You had to do whatever they say. So if they say you're going to sleep on the floor, you sleep on the floor. And Mark, the filmmaker guy, was like, yeah, but that's not funny. And I did that. And, and she slept on the floor, and I made my wife sleep on the floor, and that's fucked up. And we did all this fucked up shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you're saying all this, but I don't know. That needs to be earlier on in that moment needs to be earlier on in the story. I can't wait 8 episodes for you to finally realize what you're doing is totally fucked.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that guy sucks too. Like in the grand scheme of things, like
he's a bit of a pompous ass.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He doesn't come across as very likable. Like
I can imagine, like if I knew him in person, and be like, I might talk to him occasionally or hang out, but I'd be like, if somebody asked me, "Is Mark your friend?" I'd probably go, "Is anyone really Mark's friend?"
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good way to put that.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth, and as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast, and check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Progressive presents an interview with your upstairs neighbor.
Hi, I'm Tia. The upstairs-downstairs neighbor dynamic is so special. We have our own language. Like when I scream at my mom on the phone, the people downstairs bang on the ceiling to show their support. The nighttime's the best time to rearrange furniture. I call it midnight feng shui. And if I sleep through my alarm in the morning, they bang on my door to wake me. So thoughtful.
Progressive can't save you from your upstairs neighbor, but we can save you money when you bundle renters and auto insurance with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
I saw that there were charges brought against my least favorite person in the Tiger King documentary.
Oh, Doc Antle? Or whatever his name is.
That dude.
Yeah.
That dude, by far the most charismatic of any of them, but also, like, the biggest piece of shit.
But that's another guy, like, Vanguard. That guy just figured out how to smash a whole bunch of ass, too.
Yeah. You know, I'll give Doc that. He's got the same grift going on that Raniere does, but he's more open about it. Although, not to harp on the vow, but there is some stuff, especially in I would just go ahead and skip. Like, forget about the rest of the episodes. Episode 8, if you're interested in the bigger picture, is one of the better episodes. And it talks about the men's organization that they started. So there was the one with the women that was used as a breeding ground for sex slaves for Keith. And, you know, the higher tiered ones ended up getting branded and welcomed into the harem. And there was a whole separate men's organization going on at the same time.
Picking up the runoff.
And in that, you get to see Keith Raniere, like, in doing it in the interest of, like, this is therapeutic, but I'm going to tell you what's really going on in men's brains. And he's openly being, like, horribly misogynistic to these women. And then going, oh, but I'm just doing this for your sake, right? This is just an exercise. But you're also a piece of shit, go make me a sandwich. But it's just an exercise. But no, don't stop sucking.
Yeah, see, by the way, before that sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, he got 46 counts of animal cruelty.
Oof.
Like, good. You don't give a shit about any one of those animals. All you cared about was the pussy that came with the animals, not the animal's pussy. But you know what I mean.
Hey, we don't know.
We don't know.
I've always thought there's been something off about people who are into exotic pets, exotic animals. I'm sorry if you listen to the show and you are. But just people who are into snakes and lizards, and is it like just to be different? Like, hey, the contrarians of the pet world.
Well, it's one thing to be filthy rich and go, yeah, I had an opportunity to buy a koala. You know? But people who, like, that's where all of their expendable income goes.
Because, I mean...
into, like, terrariums for weird lizards and smelly birds and...
Mm-hmm, yeah. Like, hey, I got a bearded dragon and an iguana. Cool.
People for whom owning a pet is in lieu of a personality.
Yeah. And these people in Tiger King were those kind of people on a larger scale.
Yeah. If they had bad allergies, they'd be a hat guy. Right? I get a unique hat and wear that hat everywhere so everybody knows, like, oh, that's the guy.
Hey, that's that guy.
That's the guy who wears the berets.
Doc Antle's the guy with the zoo and a bunch of
He's
pussy.
the tiger guy. That's his thing, yeah. He's like, I got... well, Doc is the exception. Doc does have a personality. I'll give him that.
He was one of the more likable people in that documentary.
Oh, he's certainly likable. That makes him an even bigger piece of shit.
Right.
Because he gets to get away with this shit.
Like, you didn't think he was, like...
Or at least until now.
Completely horrible.
Not at first.
Yeah.
Like, when he's introduced, you're like, oh, finally, a sane person.
Right. Yeah, for a second.
Like, everybody else in this show is completely delusional. This guy understands what he's doing. But then you realize, I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Yeah, therein lies the quandary.
Did you see that David Crosby was getting shit online?
Yeah. He's a grumpy old fucker, isn't he?
He is. Well, look, he's an old rocker. Like, what has he got to prove? What does he give a shit? But I'm of two minds of this one. So somebody asked him his opinion of Eddie Van Halen, considering his recent passing. And his response was, meh.
Yeah.
Which, on one hand, is like, why would you be so dismissive of somebody who just passed away? But then again, why would you ask? Why would you, the person who asked him, ask that question? Like, I don't know. People ask the dumbest question. Any question asked on Twitter is the dumbest.
Well, that's the thing now. Everyone's got to weigh in on everything. Everyone has to have thoughts about everything.
Yeah. Why David Crosby? Why didn't you ask, I don't know, Dave Mustaine? Why didn't you ask Kurt Hammett? Asked anyone that was maybe possibly influenced or even possibly knew this guy.
And I actually kind of get
Why
what David Crosby
Crosby
was saying, though, too. He's like,
well,
I used to play with Jimi
David
Hendrix.
Crosby's,
like,
when pushed, he did expand on. He's like, he's just not my thing, and for me, the innovator is Hendrix, and nothing's going to beat that. So
he shared a stage with Jimi Hendrix. I'd be like, yeah, dude, I saw Jimi Hendrix's prime. Like,
yes. How are you expected to impress David Crosby with anything?
Yeah,
like you could have the best guitar playing skills, the most drugs, the youngest pussy, and still you couldn't impress him with any of that. You could present it all to him at once, and he'd probably go, "Yeah, I've seen it."
Because in the grand scheme of things, you don't get Eddie Van Halen without Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
so
he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah, just he is an old crotchety fuck. If you've heard him lately.
But I support his right to be
as a future old crotchety fuck. I support his right.
I hope to live long enough for people to hate me in that fashion as well.
Yeah,
and me not care.
Hey, to some of our audience,
as long as my middle finger still works.
To some of our audience, we're already there. We're over 40.
No, just like the counts against Doc Antle for animal cruelty, we are well over 40.
Hey-o.
So there's a new weed delivery service in town.
I saw that. Is it?
Have you heard of? Did you see the ads for Lantern? They've been doing a pretty heavy ad campaign.
I have not seen them, but is it just for rec?
No, they do medical as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, what's their big claim to fame? They're saying what? They can get it to you in an hour?
That's what it says. They're promising speedy delivery. Which seems almost impossible because the dispensaries themselves aren't speedy. And I don't have a beef with the one that I've been getting my deliveries from, but I usually place my order in the morning and get it before dinner time.
Oh, wow.
That's fine.
Well, see, for me, it's at least 2 hours. The quickest I've ever gotten it is, maybe in an hour and a half.
I'm usually waiting 5 to 6 hours.
Wow.
And it's not an issue. I don't wait till I'm out and then go, oh, I got a call.
Business is booming at the rec shops, huh?
Yeah. But the cool thing about this is it opens up another place to me that wasn't delivering previously.
Oh, really?
Well, let's see. Yeah, I haven't purchased anything from them yet, but 315 recreational. I thought that was in Ypsilanti, but maybe that's within the delivery range. I don't know.
They got to be a new a local type of chain because there's one in Warren. There's a 315.
Oh, okay.
Like I think there may be a new local chain that's sprouting up. Or maybe it's a national one that's just finally come to Michigan.
Yeah, no, it has, there's tabs for both recreational and medical, although I just entered my address and I only have recreational options. I don't know. It's kind of weird because I know that the place that I get delivery from normally does medical as well. So there is medical delivery available to me. I guess maybe not just through this app. Who knows? Who knows what convoluted law or procedure is keeping them from doing it? But it's a way to order online that has some pictures and a nice user interface. It's better than the system that I've been using.
Obviously, for me, it says no medical. Not yet, anyway, but recreational.
Yeah, so there's some restriction that's keeping them from doing medical. I think they plan on expanding into medical. And yeah, so you can at least compare shop. You don't have to pay like $15 a gram, but that's what your average weed is going for $15 a gram. $20 for the nicer stuff, the top shelf. I don't even know if that's top shelf actually. And not even much of a price break on it. If you click on one of these, you can see so they offer 1 gram, 2 grams. So 1 gram's 15. 2 grams of Critical Hog is 30. 3.5 is 50. So I think that's a little bit of a break.
Wow, these prices. God damn.
Yeah. 7 grams is 100. So that's no break whether you get an eighth or a quarter. Half costs you 200, so no break again. An ounce costs $3.75, so you get $25 off if you buy an O.
Man, the money I just paid to get my card was worth it.
Yeah, no shit.
Wow.
You could buy an O and get your money back for that card.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like literally. Other than that, there's a handful of strains on here. And, again, this is the restrictions this is what's happening in Michigan right now on the recreational side. This is not a diss on Lantern. It only has available what the stores have.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to try this out this week when I'm ready to re-up. And so we'll see how the whole system works. But from the way their website's laid out, super clean, easy to navigate. You see exactly what you're getting. I dig it. If this works, I'm going to be thrilled. I probably won't see any relief on the selection or price until next year, March, I think, is when the new regulations go into effect in Michigan, which will actually allow them to open up a lot more places, open up more competition, more grow ops. And we're going to start to see the price drastically come down for recreational at that time. Probably enough that it's going to start pushing down the medical prices too.
Wow. So shit's about to get real in March?
I would expect it to, yeah. They're relaxing the market enough. So other than the flower on here, there's a number of different sugars, which I have no experience with. It's just a type of live resin, I believe.
Yeah, it's just another way to... Yeah, it's another way to dab.
There's a pretty decent selection of the dabbing variety. And, something called popcorn flour, which you can get for $15 a gram, which just looks like it's in between shake and good bud. It's just the small little buds. And as far as concentrates, it's all max pods. So if I want to keep doing concentrates for at least the foreseeable future, I got to get a whole nother battery now. I got to get a $25 max battery so I can put a $65 half gram max pod on it, which I was looking at the specifics on this. These max pods are all done by Terpene Tank, which is, I believe, a local Michigan business. You've probably seen some of their products on the medical side. Now, Terpene Tank is just a name. Whether there are any terpenes in their product or not is dependent on what the product is. And these max pods are not. These are distillate. This is the same stuff that you're getting for like $30-$40 for a whole gram. And this is $65 for a half.
Wow.
Because initially when the distillate started becoming more scarce, there were some of the terpene, the actual, not Terpene Tank brands, but the they're doing some sort of terpene concentrate thing that they could do in vape form. I don't know what it is specifically, but it went for about the same price as a 1 gram cart, but it was a half gram. But it was also much more powerful, and I can attest to that. Because I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, I'm still paying $60 for a half gram, but that shit lasted me a long time, and it was super concentrated. But these aren't even that. This is just a standard distillate tank, $65 for a half gram.
Man. And it also it sounds like it's good to be in the hardware business along with it. It sounds like it's good to sell those accessories at the dispensary as well.
They have a lot of accessories on here. You can get anything from a basic Bic lighter. I almost said a basic bitch lighter. And or some of your more, I don't know, more expensive dabbing tools and whatnot. There's no like full-on bongs on here, but good for accessory items.
Yeah, see like rolling trays, rolling papers.
Yeah, you take a mini Bic, mark it up $1.
Man, fucking stuff. Stoners these days. I just think back to some of the nights in high school and in college.
Well, there's more states that
scrounging.
Oh yeah.
You bring over your scraps, I'll bring over my scraps. Maybe we get a joint. We've all been there. Now, talk about an app that'll bring it to you.
Oh, the shit like it, making joints out of roaches and shit that was scraped out of a bowl.
Yeah, hey, I got my roaches. You bring your roaches. Here's the scraps from my bag. Oh my God. Now it's like push button. Weed shows up at your door. And it only took till we were 40.
I should keep that in perspective when bitching about my dab tabs.
Yeah.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
Yeah, sure, the players bring some skill to the game, but if I don't put them in my lineup, who cares? Not me. I'm Eric Rubino, fantasy baseball GM and league runner-up 2 of the last 9 years. I use the Progressive Name Your Price tool with options based on my budget. And for a guy that's used to being in control, it fits. Like this runner-up t-shirt. Champ gets a trophy, but you can't wear a trophy. Boom.
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Progressive presents an interview with your upstairs neighbor.
Hey, it's Rick from upstairs. Yeah, I take it seriously. When I play R&B at 1 a.m, that's me saying, hey, I'm here for you. And I enjoy repetitive bass lines. I only use expired batteries in my smoke detectors. Nice, right? Yeah, upstairs neighbors help people forget their troubles. Give them something else to focus on. Ooh, want to see how high I can jump?
Progressive can't save you from your upstairs neighbor.
No, wait, let me try again.
But we can save you money when you bundle renters and auto insurance with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, Affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Excuse me? You mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Well, there's more states that Lantern could possibly expand to after the election. We've actually got 5 states. Now, we've talked about probably all of these at various times leading up to the election. All 5 of these states kept their ballot initiatives, withstood the slings and arrows and made it. They're on the ballot. They will all be voted on. So that's New Jersey, Arizona, South Dakota, Montana, and Mississippi. So New Jersey's been a long time battle.
Everything on that list other than New Jersey is huge because those are red states.
Yeah, New Jersey is something that they've been trying to put together for a while now. It's on the ballot. Has a good chance of winning.
New York too.
That's the one that I have the highest hopes for. I think that's pretty much a slam dunk at this point. And according to NJ.com, roughly 61% of likely voters plan to or have already voted yes, according to their recent polls. So New Jersey's probably going to get recreational. That's good news. That's a long time coming. The others that's a tougher road to hoe, as they say. South Dakota. Now, South Dakota is interesting because this is going to be a historic vote. First time ever for having medical and rec on the same ballot. Now, we talked about this before. Both initiatives made it to the ballot.
See, South Dakota it's a red state. It's more of a state where it's more like a libertarian red. Because there's nothing there. So everyone's kind of like, whatever, just do your own thing. Leave me alone.
Yeah, so I can definitely see them passing the medical. I think the recreational would be, that's going to be a tougher battle, but who knows? I mean, maybe if South Dakotans are willing to legalize marijuana, maybe they're libertarian to go, yeah, we should just go all the way, all or nothing. You know, why do a medical program when we know that what that really boils down to is just another tax grab for the government? You know, that's just more red tape. So if somebody wants to smoke marijuana, they have to go to a doctor, they have to pay an additional tax. I don't know. It's a thought. I think we'll probably see medical come out of South Dakota. The recreational is a stretch.
Hey, if we have the historic turnout in the election that's projected, then you never know.
That's true. Now, Arizona is another thing. Now, Arizona's pretty good red state, pretty traditionally conservative state, but it's a different type of conservative. It's an old school conservative, but not a libertarian conservative. It's a greatest generation conservative.
It's the West's Florida. It's where you go to retire out west. It's full of old people. Old school conservative. But we've talked about this recently as well. It's looking pretty close. There's been a lot of polls that are showing that this thing could pass. And again, this is recreational. This is not for medical cannabis. Hey, you got to think the old people are the older baby boomers. They're the beginning of the baby boomers. So, and that was the generation that, was started. That's a generation that discovered weed, essentially. That started pushing it towards the mainstream. That's the generation that had the hippies and all that shit. So, yeah, it's possible. Now, Mississippi, that's the surprise to me. Is it just medical that's on the ballot there?
Yeah, that's the only state that's just doing medical.
Hey, that's a big deal for Mississippi. In fact, they're even thinking that. Rock and roll. Go ahead. See what happens.
Yeah, so Mississippi's got a medical program. We'll see what happens with that. The other recreational program was Montana. So that's pretty much South Dakota.
Yeah, it's another more like live free or die kind of red state.
Although it does seem like there are a lot more organized anti-marijuana activists. A lot more of them in Montana than in South Dakota, or at least they
more vocal,
are getting more attention. Yeah.
Election days. Oh yeah. Oh, to what? 3 weeks? Not soon enough.
Something interesting actually happened in Mississippi, though. They're going to be voting on medical marijuana, and the governor just signed into law last week that says, law to allow people to obtain marijuana-derived medications that are approved by the FDA, stating that he's against efforts to make marijuana mainstream.
But that sounds like he is not.
Well, he wants to keep it strictly medicinal. Like the stuff that's been approved by the FDA is like stuff that has no chance of getting anyone high. It's,
okay.
We derived this compound and put it into a pill. So that's completely removing it.
Governor of Mississippi doesn't want you having fun on the weekend.
Recreational use. Yeah. He says, that said, helping people with safe treatments should not be off the table. Just signed a bill for kids like Brady and Brianna. I don't know what those examples are, but I guess with rare form of epilepsy to get FDA-approved treatment. So that doesn't exactly, who knows what the voters are going to say about this, but it doesn't sound like the governor is supporting this legalization. As a matter of fact, he's maybe trying to preempt it and say, hey, I'll concede that it could be a medicine, but only in the strictest sense.
He's trying to please everybody. He's like, look, I'm trying to be cool, but also I'm a Republican.
If we leave it in the green form, then somebody might have a good time with it. And that's only allowed with alcohol in this state.
Someone might use it for fun. Can't have that.
So, but on the good news in Mississippi, recent poll, 81% of respondents said that they support medical legalization generally.
Wow. 80, that's a big piece of the pie. That is an overwhelming majority.
That is. But that could be anything from whoever wants it can have it in whatever form to you only get the pills. So who knows what percentage of that 81% is actually in favor of the actual initiative, the medical marijuana initiative that they're going to be voting on. But yeah, like you said, anything's possible. We've seen the whole a majority of the nation at this point is supporting cannabis in one way or another.
Yeah.
And if polling, registration, and early voting is any indication, this is going to be record turnout. And that could help. That could. It's unfortunate that Biden didn't want to try and make marijuana an issue to help drive people to the polls. But all the same, he might be good for marijuana.
Yeah,
he might be the driver for other people to go, oh yeah, while I'm here, I'll just own the conservatives again with my vote for medical marijuana or possibly even recreational.
Yeah, his administration will, be friendly to. Yeah, Trump administration just left it alone, which is best case scenario. Like there's been no movement. It's all we could hope for.
Biden, if elected, will decriminalize it. Will deschedule it, really is what it's all about.
That's the key.
And so there was Sean Williams did an op-ed for the Motley Fool about this, saying, newsflash, decriminalizing marijuana isn't a cure-all. And it puts a lot of this in perspective. Let's see, where is it? Right, so if elected, we'd see cannabis use and possession removed from criminal offense. Marijuana would be removed from Schedule 1 and place it alongside LSD and heroin to Schedule 2. So it's not taking... Biden and Harris haven't promised to take marijuana off the schedule. They're going to demote it.
Hey, whatever works.
Well,
whatever can make the banking
works
happen.
For what, though? Like, so what this guy is pointing out in his op-ed piece... he says, what would decriminalization mean if we could see banks and credit unions finally opening up their doors? Yeah. We also might see an uptick in recreational cannabis use. Certainly, yeah. But saying that it fails to resolve a number of key issues. Let's see. So he's going to get into the weeds on some of this. He's talking about tax code 280E, which disallows businesses that sell a federally illicit substance from taking normal corporate income tax deductions, with the exception of cost of goods sold.
So they can't deduct their supplies.
They can't write off jack shit. That's a hindrance to people starting new marijuana businesses.
Yeah. You're going to need an investor or a big pile of cash.
But the other thing that he's pointing out, and this is something that I didn't know, by taking it off of Schedule 1 and putting it on Schedule 2, it actually puts it under the purview of the FDA.
Oh.
So what that means is stricter regulation. Not always a bad thing, but if it means that the taxes increase to the point where, I mean, that's another thing. So now you have a business that can't take the same deductions that other businesses take, and on top of that are paying now more additional taxes. So not only do you have to pay the standard taxes that anyone who works with any sort of food would, because all of your, the meat and all the food items have to go through some sort of inspection process, and all of that ends up being part of the price of what you pay for the food as a restaurant. So that's essentially a tax on your food. If the government wasn't regulating it, your food would be cheaper. It would also be more dangerous. But, this is the balance that we try and find with any regulation. Yeah. But you take that extra tax. So you have the regulation for food safety and handling in general. You have to, the FDA's got to get their cut. Then you have the standard sin tax that appears everywhere that it's sold. The government saying, well, we'll let you, but we don't like it. And to show how much we don't like it, we're going to tax the hell out of it. And then add on the fact that you can't deduct any of your costs except for sale.
I'm sure there'd be some creative accounting figured out. But
so realistic, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some creative accounting. People will figure it out. It's still a high profit business. People will figure out a way to make it work. But if we're talking about opening it up fully, getting full competition, I mean, that's part of it's over-regulation that's caused a lack of competition in the recreational market here in Michigan that we were just bitching about. I feel confident that Michigan will find their balance, but honestly, the Biden-Harris plan might be something that throws that out of balance again. May be good long-term, but the short-term could mean that it causes more turmoil. It causes more problems than it solves.
I just wonder if scheduling it any lower takes it out of the purview of the FDA, and that's why they won't?
Possibly. I think it should be removed from the schedule completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we were saying, there could be some more states coming on to the legalization train. Doesn't mean any of those states should get their hopes up just yet. Even if this gets passed, even if recreational cannabis gets passed in your state,
it's going to be a while.
It could be years before you're able to buy something. 2 states recently just came online, actually. Vermont and Maine.
Yeah.
Both passed.
Maine voted in years ago.
Yeah, I think Maine was the first. Vermont came later.
Maine's just now going to start selling cannabis. Weren't they like 2016, 2017? Yeah. Like they were, it's been a minute for Maine.
Well, so I'm sorry. So what's happening in Vermont is that their governor signed off on the final bill to legalize. So they actually have full legalization as of this last week. That still and this is something that's been years in the process for them putting together in Vermont. They expect their first stores to open up in October of 2022.
Jesus. So it's still going to be 2 years. Yeah. God damn.
Yes. So Vermont finally legalized it. And now it's going to be another 2 years. Maine, I think it was more than 2 years since when the governor signed off on the bill, and they're just now opening up.
In Michigan, it took what, like a year? Like when did the rec places finally open up? Last fall?
Yeah.
And this isn't a place. Yeah, and this wasn't a place that's had it.
Maine voters nearly voted 4 years ago to legalize recreational marijuana.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a while.
They just opened up. So their first day of sales yields $9,464 in sales tax.
About right. There's not a lot of people in Maine.
Yeah. I guess they have a 10% tax on it because their total sales reported are 94,006 and change.
You're surrounded, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts. You might as well just do it.
Yep. That was another thing that happened in Maine. So their police department. Okay, so this was from Maine's police department Facebook page. But are these posts actually credited to one person? Oh, yeah, here we go. Lieutenant Tim Cotton of the Bangor Police Department. Bangor?
I've been there.
Barely know her.
That's up north.
So he got on the social medias and just started ranting. The marijuana movement.net has, they managed to pull out just some choice quotes here that I'll read from. I don't know why he's talking about his own eating habits. I already snack like a 70s stoner, and I have been known to partake in both Hostess cupcakes and sweet chili Doritos within the same half-hour period. Oh, he's wacky. Years of black coffee and stale donuts have made my stomach both larger and cast iron. I don't even need to chew Tums or Rolaids after a road trip that is littered with empty bags of delightful and deep-fried tubers, Mountain Dew, and Whoppers containing self-installed banana peppers. Oh, Whoppers the sandwich, not Whoppers the malted balls. Self-installed banana peppers. He's putting banana peppers on his Whopper because the king really doesn't supply those burgers exactly, quote, my way.
Like, what? Why is this guy why is this guy ranting?
This is not me complaining about the fact that cops can't partake in recreational marijuana usage. It's merely me advising you to avoid passing the fatty to the cop who happens to be standing between you and the next person in your therapy group at the next fish festival. It's best if we don't become involved in the ritual of passing of the happy salad to your friend, Kevin, even though he has really short arms ever since he has been lifting heavy.
What's this guy trying to do? Was he working out material?
I think so. Just ask us to get out of the way so the party can continue uninterrupted by the guy with the bad mustache and the pistol. I don't know, his English is not great. For the record, I don't smoke cigarettes or medicine. Who gives a fuck? As for the recreational use of marijuana, federal statutes disallow your local, county, or state-employed State-employed gendarme? I've never seen this. Is this a word? GENDARME.
Is now.
An armed police officer in France or other French-speaking countries. So it's a gendarme. From partaking in dabs, doobies, or bong hits, as we apparently are not actually regular citizens, but merely a class of individuals who should not stoned or buzzed while enforcing laws and such. I have to agree. For you, smoke away, my friends.
I should have dropped a butthead going,
oh my God.
Okay.
I mean, this is just excerpts. There's one, I've just read like from 3 paragraphs of the excerpts.
This guy's what, just ranting on Facebook?
This is the excerpts that they have here. There's a whole nother page of, oh my God. And they cut stuff out of this?
They're giving you the meat.
Look, yeah, I think it's good practice when, when your cannabis laws change in your area, that the police department, uses their social media to put a blast out to say, hey, here's the new regulations. Everybody enjoy responsibly and don't be an asshole, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's...
Like, did this guy get into the weed in the evidence room?
Yeah. This is just babbling. He wants to say, enjoy your cannabis, just don't pass it to a cop just because it's legal. And to that I say, done and done.
Yeah. Check, buddy.
No problem.
Like, file his whole thing under, like, nobody asked you.
And nobody was passing the joint to a cop anyway.
That's just like Halloween and your friend is dressed like a cop. Although, wait, we can't be passing the joint in coronavirus times, can we? Is that allowed?
Define allowed.
Should we be doing it?
It totally depends on who you're passing it to. There's so many more things that I couldn't do that before I would get to the point where I would possibly pass a joint to a stranger. Like, what could I do right now that would put me in a situation where I'd be like, dude, you want to hit this? Nothing. Right. So it's moot, whether it's allowed or not.
It's all what you feel comfortable with, I suppose.
Yeah. Everyone do what you're going to do because you're going to do it anyway. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Our new motto as a country anyways.
I'm not going to spend my old age being mad about what other people are doing.
Exactly.
And I'm going to have to cut this off now, or else it's just going to be a downward spiral into bitter old man.
Yeah. Old and bitter is going to happen anyways. It's just one less thing to be bitter about. All right.
Look, be personally informed. Share that information, that good information with your loved ones. And that's about all you can do. And then fuck everyone else, because they're not your responsibility anyway.
That is a great note to end the show. That is a period on the end of the sentence. So follow us on Twitter at TheWeasel420, at The Weasel Podcast on Instagram, The Weasel Podcast at ChristopherMedia.net. If you want to drop us an email, ChristopherMedia.net. Hey, Amazon Prime. Well, it'll be over by the time this is posted, but hey, still, while you're using Amazon, click through the Amazon banner there. There's also a PayPal banner if you want to help us out. And yeah, the old-fashioned way, just giving us a couple bucks. And speaking of Amazon, Amazon Music is in the podcast game now, so that is where you can find us, along with Spotify, Spreaker.com, Apple Podcasts.
Does that mean that you could probably say, hey, Alexa, play the Weedsman?
Yeah.
And yours probably just did.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's cool. But yeah,
and your Alexa's like, I am playing the Weedsman, you moron.
Right.
Put the joint down.
But also Google Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, Stitcher, anywhere there is a podcast. You can check us out. So thank you for listening and stay high.
Hey, Alexa, stay high.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for the previews to start in a movie theater.
Hey, you want anything? Popcorn? Soda? No, nothing?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.